I'm gonna talk about the only reason why your woman loses interest in you. In fact, I see 99% of relationships doing this. Most guys do this, and it's the lie that society has told you, and it's the lie that you keep falling under. And guys, there are levels and layers to this you might not really comprehend. And it is what we call being too agreeable, too open, too accommodating of your woman to the point where you sacrifice yourself. And what we call this is, again, nice guy behavior. You probably knew I was going to say that. So in this video, I'm going to outline exactly what this is in the shortest, most concise way possible, because trying to follow like 15 different fucking things out of a book is just too much. And so the whole point is, how do we reduce this down into just one thing so that we can really just knock this out? And if you can knock this out, it's going to transform the way you see all of your relationship. And it's going to be scary because it's going to require you to step up and hold people accountable. So anyways, let's get started. My name is Ed Baxter, and I help guys in betrayal situations. The process of being with a woman for 50 years or a woman that you're dating is pretty much the same. For us, it's just science. Because we know the patterns, we know the solutions. It's not that complicated. You have to make a commitment for yourself. That's what it means to be in Soul Seducer program. That's what it means to work with me directly. So that you can learn to handle your emotions, so you can learn to see right into a woman's soul and seduce her from within, to create this garden that she can actually thrive in. We'll get you to that place where you make the right decision for you and your chick. You know, there's this myth that being agreeable, understanding, accommodating of your woman is going to make her like you and love you. No, it won't. I mean, it's good for having a good friendship. It's good for having a good regular platonic relationship, of course, right? I need to be understanding of your feelings, what's going on, and she does this with me too. But the problem is that this doesn't hit the game of attraction. And so oftentimes guys will think that this is what drives attraction. It isn't. What drives attraction in a woman is your demonstrations of power. Doing shit that demonstrates you're powerful. Oftentimes this means telling her the magic word, the most powerful word in any language, which is no. Simply telling her no, and then sticking by it. Most guys, even if they tell their wife no, what ends up happening is they have to explain their no. No, baby, we don't want to do this because of this and this and this and this and this and this and this, which then just gives her tons of ammunition to just unravel your argument. If I give you 15 points of why I'm telling you no, those are 15 different avenues that I could come in and interrogate you and start picking apart all of your reasons why you shouldn't say no. So I could start dealing with what we call objection handling in sales. I can objection handle the shit out of your no and turn it into a yes. So this is why you don't want to give her all this leverage. Usually when you have to tell your wife no, which is a boundary, then you just leave it this way. Hey, no, I don't want to do that. She's like, why? Well, it's pretty obvious why I wouldn't want you flirting with other guys. Let's just leave it at that. You're just jealous. You're just blah, blah. Well, it doesn't matter about my jealousy. You doing that is what's happening, and so I'd appreciate that you stop. So let's look at it this way. There is a thin line between empathy and masculinity. Empathy means feeling and understanding what's going on with their situation. Sympathy means feeling bad and sorry for them about their situation. And the masculine one is, oh, this is what's happening. I can see her situation empathetically, but I'm going to do what's best for me and what's best for the situation, not necessarily what she wants. This means that you're going to take a more leadership role in what happens, a more executive function in how the foundation or the fabric of the relationship is. What is required for this relationship to work well? What is required for me being the leader in this relationship? So if my wife is flirting with another guy, obviously this relationship won't be able to work if that's what's happening. So if I can look at it objectively and say, hey, yeah, that kind of thing in the relationship, even if it is innocuous, even if it's supposed to be innocent, obviously we're getting close to the line. And as an executive function here in the relationship, as the executive, I can say, okay, objectively, this probably isn't going to end well. So I'm going to set a boundary. Not because I want to control her, and not because I'm insecure, but because I can see that this is rocking the fabric of the trust of the relationship. And so then I would set a boundary on this. Hey, let's not do any kind of flirting or having guys around while this is happening. And of course, I have to hold to the same standard. In your mind, you say, well, I can have a double standard because I know myself, I'm not going to do this. And then she could say the same argument. So it has to be fair across the board. So this nice guy behavior often takes empathy and sympathy to the extreme. You feel sorry for her, you get pulled into her victim frame. And so women, at a very young age, they're taught to leverage the victim frame. If I am a victim, men will save me. If I am a victim and cry, people will try to comfort me. And so they learn at a very young age to be the victim, to hold the victim frame, and then people will come and save them, which keeps them from being accountable for things. And oftentimes in the comments of my videos, guys will say, a woman accountable? Oh, I've never seen it. It's like, yeah, because you're really bad at holding women accountable. There's this huge narrative in society that women are kind and empathetic and honest and more virtuous than guys are, and it's simply not true. They're exactly on the same level playing field as this. When most guys see this, it just rips the scabs off of their eyes because they've been burned, and they can see truly clearly for the first time. And then for most guys, when they see this, they get this horrible view of women when they see them really for the first time, and it turns them into this jaded place. This is where the MTOW movements come from. And you don't have to play in that game. There's a lot of great women out there who actually care deeply about the men in their lives. And if you're having a hard time finding these women, just realize that that is a you problem. So in this place of trying to be accommodating, this place of trying to be nice, this place of trying to help the woman out all the time, it comes off, one, is condescending. In other words, this is where the whole term mansplaining comes from. You don't have to do any of this stuff. And oftentimes you're so up her ass all the time trying to help her out because you're trying to prove yourself to her. This sense of trying to prove yourself to her so that she'll love you forever is the problem. She knows and she can see right through it. And so whereas the first one was too much empathy, too much sympathy, falling into her victim frame whenever she falls into any kind of a situation. And then the second one is trying to save her and trying to accommodate and trying to anticipate so much that you end up smothering her because you got your head so far up her ass, you can't see sideways. Which means your life typically takes the back burner and you sacrifice so much in your own life trying to make this woman happy. And if you are doing this, you are huge narc bait. In other words, a woman who is manipulative and selfish will leverage that and she will take everything from you. And if she can convince you to marry her, now you have to give her half of your legacy, maybe even more. And if she decides to have children with you, well, good luck there. Now the kids are just leveraged to take even more than her fair share. She'll take everything. And so you have to watch out for these type of behaviors. If you get called into a victim frame and you're overly accommodating, then this is what they're going to leverage. How do they leverage it? Through manipulation. I'm going to make them feel guilty. Well, I just can't do this and you don't really care. Or shame. You should know better. If you were a husband who cared and this would be whatever, you're such a piece of shit. Or they'll just threaten you. I'll take the kids away from you. I'll go sleep with somebody else. And so when you're looking at this and you're looking at these type of manipulations, obviously if that happens to you, you got to get out of there. But the problem is this guy who's overly accommodating, overly helpful, overly available to her, it's all coming from a deep place of insecurity. And that leads to the third point. You need her approval. You need her to love you. You need her to give you validation, oftentimes through sex. You want to feel that she wants you. And if she wants you, then you feel that you're complete as a guy, that you're complete as a man. And this comes from some sort of a childhood trauma wound, usually related to the mother. And so when you need that approval from women, it brings out what we call male codependency behaviors, which is also called nice guy. You're a nice dude, but now we're not just nice, we're being manipulative. We're doing a counter manipulation to what her overt manipulation is, which is I'll be nice and accommodating and maybe she'll love me because I am afraid to expose who I really am and actually let that savage wild man out because I don't think it'll be accepted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide behind a lot of easy, nice, socially acceptable behaviors. I'm not even going to dress edgy. And hopefully I can nice my way into her heart. And thinking that if I can nice my way into her heart, she'll want to sleep with me. But that's not the case. Women don't sleep with you because you're nice. They sleep with you because you can demonstrate power. And so for you, it doesn't mean you have to throw out all your morals and all your convictions and turn away from God to become a more savage wild man. No, it doesn't at all. It just means that you just have to stop seeking validation from her. It doesn't matter what she does. She's good. She's a grown-ass woman. You're not there to save her. You're not there to fix her emotional state. You're not even there to comfort her. For instance, this last weekend, we're driving to this brewery, and we're going to take the kids. It's an outdoor venue. It's really cool. They got horses and everything. It's great. They have like a volleyball thing, and the kids can go play outside the whole time while we just kind of hang out and have a good time. And so we're driving down the road, and my wife's driving. She takes a left turn across here, and there's one of them signs that they put in there that tells you that there's a median, right? And so there's a pole right there. And she pulls into this pole, and she goes right into it with the corner of the car. I'm yelling, like, what are you doing? And she proceeds to scrape it all the way across the back of the car and dent the entire side of our brand new Subaru Ascent, which was, I was pretty pissed for about 3 minutes, but it just like mortified her completely. And so she's crying about this, and she's like, oh man, this new car, I can't believe I did it. I'm so sorry, I should have done this. And we get to the place, and then we get out, and she's still upset about it. And I remember sitting there thinking, you know, comforting her would be the wrong move. In fact, I felt repulsed trying to comfort her. You'd be like, well, what an asshole. Why would he not want to comfort his wife? Baby, it'll be okay, it'll be all right. Like, no, this is the experience she needs to have. It was humiliating for her. It was humbling her, and that's good. That's good for everybody to have that experience. I'm not there to save my wife from her emotional state. I'm there to just be there present with her, see what's happening, and not pile on. And so she kind of goes through this, and she goes, are you mad at me? I'm like, well, I was for about 3 minutes, and then I saw how much you took this, and I was like, well, it doesn't matter. We got insurance. That's why we have insurance, right? And so it didn't make that big of a deal to me. I was like, okay, well, whatever. But then she just was like, oh, man, what's happening? Most guys was there, like, oh, good baby, and then hug her and try to make her feel better. But the thing is that that's not your place in a relationship to make her feel better. Like, she's your partner. She's not your fucking project. And so let her have it. Let her have her space. Let her stand on her own 2 feet. She's a grown-ass woman. She doesn't need you to make her feel better. She knows what's going on. Let her have the experience. Just be there and support her. She knows that she's there with you, and she feels unjudged and put down by you. That's all she needs. And so if I had any kind of approval-seeking behavior and she got upset, I'd be worried about, oh no, she's going to think I'm mad at her, and I got to make sure she doesn't know that I'm mad at her, and I got to push down my anger, and I got to do whatever to make her feel better. And then everything is around like dancing around her emotional state. And as a guy, if your life is ever dancing around your wife's emotional state, you've lost the game. You've lost it. You can't lead your family out of that, because you're being led by her emotional state. It's not led by your own logical objectivity. And so, brother, these are the 3 main things. And what I want you to do is realize they all come down from the one thing, which is needing approval from your woman. You do not need approval from anybody to live who you are. Now, you want acceptance, but I'm talking about the deep-seated approval that, like, if I'm not approved of, me as a human is not good enough. That's the thing we have to get rid of and root out. We root that out, then the next game of wild, savage, badassery can now come and is available to you. Anyways, brother, I love you. I'll see you in the next video. If you want to know more about how this works, check out Soul Seducer in the description below. We've had thousands of guys go through that program, and it absolutely fucking crushes. And I'd love to get to know you and see you inside. Anyways, peace.